You're not from Texas? Nobody from Texas? Good evening. Good evening. Now I feel at home. My name is Dr. Brian Lane. I'm the Director of Debate at the University of North Texas here. Debate at the University of North Texas has a very, very long tradition. As you can note in your program, Debating Society started working on campus in 1902. And by 1911, there was a full-fledged academic debate team in operation here at the university. We're very fortunate to have a number of great alumni that have supported UNT debate throughout the years. We've been fortunate indeed tonight to be joined by an alumni who debated the British in 1962 and again in 1964. To join me in welcoming Miss Donna Jones.
You know, normally when I speak to my employees in my company in St. Louis, Missouri, I have a little stool I stand on, so please forgive me if you can't see my nose and below. When I was at North Texas, and I came here in 1961, I graduated on a Sunday afternoon from Garland High School and moved into Terrell Hall on Monday morning as a 17-year-old. And I love North Texas. There were like about 1,000 kids on campus. I had a couple of dates. I drank my first beer. Just loved it. I got to know so many people. And then the other 10,000 showed up in September, and I didn't know what to think about it. I just want to tell you that you can be a debater and be a real person at the same time. They're really, you know, they're not a breed all their own. They don't bite, not very often. And when I was at UNT, I was on the debate team. I was in student government. I was president of my sorority, Delta Gamma, go DG. And we'd like to see the debate team next year entered in Anchor Splash, if you don't mind. Okay? But I don't want to take up much time. Brian did say he wouldn't cut me off, but you know, he doesn't always tell the truth. I do want to tell you that when the biggest contribution that the debate team made to UNT when I was here, and I actually started when it was still North Texas State College. Yeah, that back in the golden years. But anyway, we were a big group. How many of you are members of the debate team? Raise your hand. Okay. There were probably 25 of us. Oh my gosh, there we are here in all our glory. As you can see, I haven't gotten any taller. But we, one of our teams, John Swaney and Ann Hodges, who many of you may have heard of. I know they've both come back to campus a few times, and at least Ann will be joining us in the spring when Brian puts together this huge debate team reunion that we're going to have. We used to say, we hope it'll happen. Now we say, when it happens. But Ann and John were tremendous. Ann was a senior my freshman year. John was a junior. And they participated in the national round of televised collegiate debates. I carried the briefcases, that's all I did. And did Ann's makeup and hair. After Ann graduated, we were invited again to participate, but they didn't have a series of debate that where North Texas could move up and up and up the ladder and debate the best European team known to man. They just had one debate. And because North Texas had won, and because it had been a man and a woman, known then as a mixed team, we had to have a woman debate with John Swaney. And as a sophomore, I was John Swaney's partner. Now, I must tell you, would you gentlemen stand up, please? Okay. The men I debated from Oxford were much taller. Much broader shoulders. Of course, I was an inch taller and weighed 100 pounds. So you can see everything has changed over the years. After Dr. William DiMuggio, and I'm sure many of you have heard of Dr. D, and this is the time of year to remember him because he was known as the Great Pumpkin. Dr. D came to me and told me I had been selected to debate with John Sweeney. He didn't say it's because you're one of 3 girls on the team and you probably will look better with John than the others. But he said, I do want you to do a couple of things. Of course, I want you to dress professionally, which we always did. There's no way we would have gone to a debate without high heels, hose, and our big sample cases. And then he said, and so I want you to dress professionally. That was no problem. I just picked up the phone in the sorority house and called my mother, and she went right to work on it. And then he said, and we need to work on your speech. And I said, well, am I going to be first affirmative? That was the only speech I thought that would be totally prepared. And he said, no, I mean the way you speak. And I said, what do I need to do about the way I speak? He said, well, we were in the historical building, which has either been destroyed or had its name changed. You need to go down to the basement to the speech pathology folks. They are waiting for you. Because they thought I had an East Texas twang. Now, the men from Oxford, I'm sure, would tell you, I don't have a Southern drawl, do I? So I did have to go to speech therapy. It had nothing to do with my brain. It had to do with the way the words came out of my mouth. And then I went home for the weekend. My mother had been to Neiman Marcus and probably probably hocked the family jewels and bought me this gorgeous ruby red knit dress. And I was pretty well built then, so the ruby red knit dress was appropriate. Okay, so I put it on. It has to be shortened, of course, as everything did. My mother starts working on it. I come back to campus. Dr. D said, okay, Donna, they called me the termite on the debate team. He said, did you get your dress? I said, yes, sir. And he said, and do you have neutral colored hose? Yes, sir. And do you have black shoes with a heel at least 3 inches tall? Yes, sir, I do. Okay, good. Well, there are a couple of things they want me to tell you. Number one, you can't wear your glasses. Because glasses, there'll be a glare with the TV cameras. I'm telling you, this was way before perfected television. And it was, he said, and of course it was all still black and white. So the fact that the dress was red or purple or orange or whatever should make no difference. And he said, and they did tell me to tell you that for the woman, they did not want you to wear red. And I took a deep breath and I said, okay, why not? Well, red doesn't show up well on black and white television. And then he looked at John Sweeney, who was in school on a much more limited budget than I was, and he said, and by the way, John, you can't wear a white shirt. So you have to wear blue or gray. Well, in 1962, it was not easy to find a blue man's dress shirt, especially when you're a guy about the size of Dr. Lane. But my mother headed out in Dallas, and she did find that blue shirt. I don't think we won the debate, but get ready, boys. Tonight is our night. But I do know I learned a lot, and that, as well as all of my years at UNT, were great experiences, and I just want to thank you for letting me reminisce.